Okay, so basically, I still have no idea what we're going to do, just like last time. And maybe I should edit this video. Okay, so what we are going to do? What do I do? Okay, so, uh, so, okay, what am I doing? So, what we are going to do is, uh, 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 what the heck should I do? Let's just destroy stuff on a cosmic level. I've changed my mind, and when my first video turns an entire year old, I shall reveal my face. So wait 6 months, mind you.
Ever tried to grow your own channel? This video started with a steady growth, but over the following year and a half, it continued to gain traction, and it actually became my most viewed video, a position it retained for a couple of years. For a large portion of 2015, I was releasing 2 videos a week, which was a huge amount of work. I worked with some brands again, like this hotel company, and this moldable glue product. Channel growth was still very healthy, and on the 20th of May 2015, we got there. We passed 1 million subscribers. It had taken 2 years, 11 months, and 12 days. And I was absolutely ecstatic. I'd made a video ready to launch on that day where I reworked some of my most popular videos, like how long would it take to fold 1 million shirts, and how big could I make a Coke truck if I had 1 million cans. A month or 2 later, I received this huge box from YouTube, the legendary gold play button. Opening it up, reading the letter for the first time, and seeing the plaque was a really special moment. So exciting, I was feeling really motivated. And as the second half of the year came, I carried on making content, including this watermelon video for summer, glow-in-the-dark stuff for Halloween, some cool Christmas stuff, and of course, a DeLorean time machine out of Pepsi cans for Back to the Future Day. It had been an amazing year. I released 76 videos that year, and at the beginning of 2016, YouTube sent me this box. I had no idea what it was, and when I opened it up, this is what I found. This Creator Yearbook Gold Play Button class of 2015. The first couple of pages are bespoke to my channel, saying where my timeline started, and showing some of my journey, like my first video, how many views I've had, and my most popular video, and achieving the gold play button. There's all these little pictures of my thumbnails down here too. There's a letter from Susan. Then it shows you the profile picture of every channel that reached 1 million subscribers in 2015. How cool is that? There's me here. And if we take a look at the cover again, you can see the play button logo here is actually made up of all these channel names. I think there's about 700 in total. There's mine there. That was such a cool gift. Thanks, YouTube. I was still making regular content, and in January 2016, I released 9 videos. Many of my videos were now a bit longer, between 2 to 5 minutes. I was still making a good mix of life hacks, how-tos, and food content. And for Easter that year, I made this really cool chocolate Coca-Cola bottle, which I filled with mini eggs. Again, it was another video which proved very popular.
Stepping
And a few days
stones,
after,
big
I released
change.
this magnetics time experiments video, which was also a really big hit. Then in June 2016, I reached 2 million subscribers, and I celebrated by baking a cake. That year, I also reviewed this curious watermelon slicing gadget, something I'd find myself doing a lot more of in years to come. I did some quite fun back-to-school stuff that year, like this stripy highlighter pen hat, and I got creative with a glue gun by making this cool phone case, and a glow-in-the-dark skeleton for Halloween. In
What
November,
just
I
left?
released this video about cutting alternative foods for the mental egg season, and in January 2017, I followed it up with a sequel. This video saw me cutting up things like a hot dog sausage, a courgette, and even potatoes. Then I cooked them all to make a really quick and
Have
simple meal.
birth?
Again, this video was an instant hit, attracting 1.7 million views on the second day, nearly 2.5 million on the third day, and 2.1 million on the fourth.
Ah,
And
so
to date
just
now, it has nearly 7.4 million views. I think the thumbnail really helped with this one, and I used it again a few years later. Shortly after that, there was a red hot knife trend going around, so I did a few about that, cutting these marshmallows, this slime ball, and this spoon. Pretty cool fun. I did some more food hacks, life hacks, and science experiments, and on the 28th of April 2017, I released this video about gallium.
There we go. Why is the temperature decreasing? What?
Vistaprint knows the holidays are chaotic. That's why we make it easy to print that. And that. And that. Which means you get to do this. Get up to 50% off holiday cards, calendars, and much more at Vistaprint.
There we go.
It's a metal that's solid at room temperature,
Yeah.
but it can melt in your hand, and it's a non-toxic metal, so it's safe to handle. This video was also very popular, and in June I came up with the idea of making a metal fidget spinner by casting it around a skateboard bearing in a plasticine mold. This video performed astronomically well. 2.4 million views in 8 hours, 7.3 million views on day 1, nearly 7.5 million views on day 2, and over 28 million views in a week. It was getting shared everywhere, so I decided to make some follow-up videos. I made a different design gallium fidget spinner every day for a week. We had spirals, a dollar sign, a spiky star, even a 3 million subscriber special edition one. And all of the videos performed really well, generating over 100 million views in a month.
You know it's good when
100,000
like
subscribers. That's still the biggest growth I've ever had in a month. Back then, the videos seemed to spread like wildfire. There was less competition on YouTube, more notifications were going out to subscribers. I was regularly seen on the YouTube trending page, and my videos were getting shared and featured all around the internet. It was like the golden age. After the gallium trend, I continued with other fun bits and pieces. This elastic band paddle boat was cool. Then we started going into Halloween and Christmas again. I released 70 videos in 2017, and on the whole it had been another great year. Towards the end of the year though, and throughout 2018, I definitely noticed a big downward trend. I was still making the same variety of content, but they just weren't getting the views they used to. There were some videos that did perform well, like this Easter egg surprise, where I filled up this chocolate Easter egg with M&Ms.
okay, now my eyes are
And this gallium versus a Coke can video. This one's really cool. It just melted the metal, but they do say what goes up must come down, and the majority of my videos really did underperform compared to previous years. The YouTube algorithm had changed again, and my content was no longer getting as much exposure. Luckily, I did have a big library of content at this point, so my channel was still getting a good amount of daily views, but the initial surge of views when I first released a new video had definitely dropped right off. In August, I released this video, also a watermelon party keg. I fitted a tap to the bottom of a watermelon and filled it with a fruit cocktail. Again, to begin with, it didn't really perform particularly well, but then after a couple of months,
If
in
you do not know,
October, it
I
started to
am
pick up. All of a sudden, it was getting hundreds of thousands of views a day.
tired.
This does occasionally happen on YouTube, but it's normally short-lived. It dropped down a little again in November, but then it started picking up again, getting more and more views, and by the end of January 2019, it really was going crazy. Hundreds of thousands of views a day, sometimes over 1 million. And this trend kept going through February, March, then it dropped down a bit, but it pretty much kept going through the entire year. And if we look at the total views gained over that period of 15 months, it's absolutely staggering. 162 million views. That really is colossal. This video doing so well really did carry my channel, while the rest of my content was still performing quite poorly. My subscriber count had continued growing over the last couple of years,
other than that, it's still
really
good.
been working for me. And then in March 2020, my channel really did get to a low point. The watermelon had lost its momentum now, and I had an overall low point of channel views in one day dropping down to 156,000. This was such a contrast to the success I'd had in previous years. It was really demotivating, and I knew I had to do something about it. So I decided to try and focus on making my videos more engaging, and also try making them a bit longer again. So in May, I made a couple of compilation videos using some of my older content. The first one I made was all about these summer life hacks, which again didn't perform hugely well on release, but then I made a compilation of food hacks. This instantly started performing better, and within a month had a really big spike of views. Momentum stayed strong with it, and by the end of the year it had achieved 12.5 million views. For a little while I experimented with some shorter and longer videos again, but I found the longer videos were definitely performing better. I really focused on trying to keep them as engaging as possible, so they are quite fast-paced now. And I realised how important it was to get a really enticing thumbnail. I had some great success with a range of kitchen gadget videos, and some really positive comments. So that's a theme I've
People can
continued with.
live.
I made this video about cutting 100 different foods with a pizza cutter. And also this video of some really cool science
Make this,
experiments
like,
with Coke cans. Momentum was
very
definitely picking up
3
again.
Tesla.
I was generally
Nice.
releasing a video once every 2
More.
weeks because it was taking
31
me so much
Tesla.
longer to make them, but the whole channel was
319.
performing so much better than the previous
Okay.
year. In 2021, I made this quirky black and white video about some old life hacks. I had fun cooking with some chocolate Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And in July, we passed the 6 million subscriber milestone. I did a few more compilations. This video all about fidget toys. These were really fun and it proved really popular, so I did a follow-up a few months later. For Halloween that year, I showed you how to carve out some new pumpkin designs. And on the 25th of October, I launched my first YouTube Shorts video. It was a re-edit of one of my pumpkin videos from previous years. In fact, I decided to launch one every day that week leading up to Halloween. None of them really performed too well to begin with. But then after about 3 weeks, this video about turning a pumpkin into a disco ball really started to explode. And by the end of the year, it had clocked up nearly 17 million views. That was my first successful Shorts video. So where are we today? Well, the same as the last year or two really. I'm still making a mix of content. It's all a bit longer these days, unless it's one for YouTube Shorts. I found the kitchen gadget stuff is really popular, so I've been doing quite a bit of that. But I still really enjoy doing the other stuff too. Overall views and engagement dropped a lot last year. I also launched channel memberships where people can pay a small fee in exchange for some perks, like these custom emojis and these badges, and also a discount off merch. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me with this, and for the super thanks donations too. I can't believe this channel's been going for 10 years.
It's a
Now,
red
I look forward to making more videos for you. I really want to work on building up the community here, and now the Flaming Pumpkin has been my profile picture for nearly 10 years. I am starting to think it might be time for a change, maybe some new branding. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. A huge thank you to anyone who supported me over the years. And now, a few questions for you. What was the first video of mine you ever saw? If you're a subscriber, how big was my channel when you subscribed? What was your favourite video I've ever made? And what sort of content would you like to see me do moving forward? Do let me know in the comments. Have fun, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.
The blooders.
At Honda, we know you have to drive to
The
your
blooders.
It's
It's
the
blooders.
red. The all-new CRV and CRV Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Open a can with your bare hands. Make a pre-sliced banana. And how do you cut a hard-boiled egg like this? Stay tuned for amazing food hacks. You can make a really cool snack by chopping a hot dog sausage in half, then thread one of the halves onto a skewer, and using a small knife, sit on the skewer at a slight angle, and rotate the sausage to make a nice spiral cut all the way down, like this. When you're done, stretch it out along the skewer. Next, take some pancake mix and add a small amount of water so you can knead it into a bread-like dough. Tear off a piece, roll it into a long worm, and twist it down the skewer in between the sausage to make a sausage and batter swirl. Cook them off in a frying pan with some oil, and make sure they're cooked all the way around. After a few minutes, they're ready to serve. Pretty cool, huh? They taste great and they go really well with a dip. You can do a similar thing with a potato.
How are people
Slide it
even
onto a skewer,
living?
place it onto a chopping board, and use a sharp knife to put a thin spiral cut all the way down to the end. You can use this apple coring and slicing gadget to make your own potato wedges. It's really quick and simple. Just place them on a baking tray, give them a light coating of oil, and dust over whatever spices you might like. Then bake them in the oven until they're cooked. If you're also serving pizzas, but find there's not enough space to fit them both in properly, chop them in half and place them on an oven rack like this. They should now slide neatly into your oven, and when they're cooked, you can slice them up as normal. If you want to steal some pizza without anyone knowing, you can cut it like this. Take a slice out of the middle first and remove it, then push the two halves together and do exactly the same again. Then finally push all four pieces together and cut it as you would normally. Serve it on a plate and no one would ever know. If you need to peel some garlic, rather than using your hands, which can make them smell, you can just put the whole garlic into a saucepan, place on the lid and hold it down firmly. Then give it a good shake. After a few seconds, the garlic breaks up and starts to peel the cloves. Shake it a little more, and look how well it works. If you're cooking rice and you want to add a little extra flavour, simply add a vegetable stock cube as it's cooking and stir it in.
Let's see how
If you
big
want to
the
make some
sun
crushed
is.
ice for a drink, put some ice cubes into a freezer bag, place it onto a chopping board, and give it a good whack with a saucepan. Instant crushed ice and perfect for a drink. If you want to cool down a can of drink really quickly, I'll show you how. You can see these are at room temperature, which are 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. To cool them down really quickly, we can pour a bit of water into a bowl. Then top it up with ice cubes. Next, sprinkle over a couple of tablespoons of cooking salt. Give it a good mix. Then submerge a can. Basically, adding salt causes the ice to melt faster, but to do this, it needs to draw heat energy from wherever possible. In this case, out of our can, which causes the drink to rapidly cool down. I gave it a good stir after a minute. Then, after a couple of minutes, I took the can out. And let's see how the temperature compares to the can we measured earlier. Wow, after just 2 minutes in the ice and salt water, the temperature has dropped down dramatically to 5 degrees C, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a huge drop in temperature. There's only one thing we can say. Pretty cool, huh? If you're enjoying this video, you might want to consider subscribing so you don't miss my future content. If you want to cool down a glass of room temperature wine, here's a great tip to help you. You can keep some grapes in a Ziploc freezer bag, seal it up, and keep them in the freezer. Then, if you find you're pouring yourself a glass of room temperature wine and you want to cool it down quickly, you can drop in a couple of frozen grapes. These will act as ice cubes, but it won't dilute your drink like it would with water. If you give a can of baked beans a good shake before you open them, they'll easily tip out into a bowl or a saucepan, and you won't get any sticking at the back of the can. If your can opener has broken and you're trying to open a can which hasn't got a ring pull on, you can actually open
see
it
that
in
it's
emergency by rubbing the seam at the top over the top of some sandpaper. Keep sanding and sanding until you open up the seam and can see the individual layers. The lid of the can and the sides are no longer wrapped around each other. Wipe off any dust, and you can open the can by just giving it a good squeeze. With the seam sanded open, the lid was more like a tight-fitting cap pushed on top. And another crazy hack to open a can is to use a spoon.
There's no rules like chaos. There's no chips like sun chips. And from one original to another, there's no one like you. Be your own wave.
Grip it like this, hold on to the can, then start rubbing the tip of the spoon back and forward on the top, while pushing down to make a groove. Keep going and you should pierce a hole right through the top, like this. Then use the edge of the spoon to cut all the way around the top. Keep going, and when you get round far enough, you can fold up.
This won't actually happen. The
Of
two will
course,
just
opening a can
collide.
like this does make a really sharp and jagged edge, so you do need to be careful. You can make an emergency food grater by drilling a series of holes in the side of a can, then clean out any metal swarf. Use some pliers to snap off any burrs, and give it a good wash. Then I used the back of the drill bit to bend out the holes to form a cutting edge like on a grater. And it's ready to use. I'm grating this cheese, and it doesn't take long to have a decent amount. These spiralizing gadgets are really cool. They work really well, but they are a little laborious to use after a while. If you want to speed things up, you can take a wire coat hanger and cut out a section like this. It works really well. Just make sure you stop before the metal prongs hit the metal blade. And it worked great with carrots too. It really saves some time. For the next one, I'm taking a slice of white bread, rolling it out nice and flat with a rolling pin, then laying over some sliced cheese. I'm also adding a thin piece of ham. Then, starting from the bottom, roll it all up into a nice tight roll, like this. And lightly fry them off in some oil. Rotate them every couple of minutes so they're cooked all the way around. And when they're done, we've got these delicious ham and cheese toasted dippers. Beautiful melted cheese. And it goes great with guacamole or sour cream and chive. If you've got a scratch on a piece of wooden furniture that won't polish out, you can take a walnut and rub it back and forth across the scratch. And up and down. Then give it a wipe over, and it's as good as gold.
was far.
If you're having a barbecue, you can also use walnuts to help light the coals. Stack a couple up together, and they burn really well. These stayed alight for more than 5 minutes. You can also use pretzels. I stacked 3 up together like this, and look how well they burn. And we're getting a really crazy smoke
Random
pattern here.
spiral galaxy and another random.
Or you
another
could use
random,
Doritos.
another random.
These also work really well. Just make a small pile and light them up. Start piling the charcoal up around. And it doesn't take long for it to really get going. If you want to make a burger with a bit of a difference, you can use a drinking glass to cut a hole out of the center. Then, while it's cooking, crack an egg inside. Make sure it's cooked on both sides. I'm also adding cheese. And there we have an amazing burger. Cut it in half, and you can see the egg inside. A muffin tray is a great way to serve sauces and dips at your barbecue. And you can even add small salad pieces for your burger, like cucumbers and tomatoes. You can use teaspoons to help make a nice frozen yogurt snack. Make a slit in the center of your yogurt pot lid, then push through a teaspoon.
This is
The lid will
literally
help keep it
every
centralized
character in a
and
Unity
upright.
game.
I did this
First
with all
person
6,
Unity
then
game
placed it in the freezer. The following day, they're frozen solid and ready to eat. Just snap one off and peel off the lid. And you can put the rest back in the freezer for later. If you've got a pack of lollipop sticks, you can of course use these instead of teaspoons. I'm using them to make these mini ones. If you find your popsicle or
Now let's
lollipop
have
starts melting
the.
before you finished it, which often happens with small
Let's
children,
have it
you can take a cupcake paper, make a small
rotate.
slice in the bottom, and slide it over the stick to act as a drip tray and stop those sticky fingers. And you can also use it on the frozen yogurts we made earlier too. Next I'm going to show you how to make this amazing pre-sliced banana. To make it, we're going to need to use a needle or pin. Then take your banana and choose one of these lines to work on. Use your needle and poke all the way into the fruit, but don't come out of the other side. Then move it back and forth, left and right, like this. This is actually slicing the fruit underneath the skin. When you're done, move the needle down a little and do exactly the same again. Work your way down the whole banana and you should have something that looks like this. You can actually just see the holes, so when you show it to someone, turn it around and hide them. Then it's ready to peel. Open it up in front of someone and they'll be amazed
we
by
have
your pre-sliced
a
banana.
rotating.
Another way to slice a banana is using a metal cooling rack like this. Sit it on top of a bowl. Then take a banana and carefully peel
Banana
half
for
of it.
reference.
We want to leave the skin on one half like this. Then place it on top of the cooling rack and carefully push it through from one end up to the other. If we look from underneath, you can see what happens. As we push it through, it neatly slices the banana and it falls into the bowl. It's a really handy technique if you need to slice a lot of bananas in one go. It's nice and quick and safer than using a knife. Perfect if you're making a nice big fruit salad or something. And it also works well on other soft fruit like avocado. Cut it in half and remove the stone. And this time I'm using a cooling rack with square holes. Mash it through, and there we go. Perfect if you're making guacamole. If you've got an avocado which isn't quite soft yet and you want to help speed up the ripening process, you can take some tin foil and wrap the avocado up in it. Then put it into an oven dish and place it in the oven at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 90 degrees Celsius. Warming the avocado up gently releases gas, which surrounds it and helps speed up the ripening process. After about 10 minutes, take it out, place it on a cooling rack and leave it to completely cool down. Once it's cooled down, remove the foil and it's ready to eat. Cut it in half, remove the stone, and you should now find it soft going to show you how to do this really cool egg hack. Take a drinking straw and use a pair of scissors to cut the ends like this. Fold it in half so it makes a V shape like this. Take your egg and insert the straw so it makes a cut. Pull it out and keep going round so it makes a zigzag cut all the way around the egg. Once you've finished, you should be able to lift it off and reveal the yolk. It looks really cool. And depending where and how big the yolk is inside the egg, you'll find you get a completely different outcome. You can use a fruit juice container to make a heart-shaped egg.
Great pyramid
The
of
half of its egg, then sit it on top of the fruit juice container that we cut out, so it looks like this. Next, take a chopstick and use some elastic bands at each end to hold it in place. This is now pulling down and forming a dip at the top of the egg and a V shape at the bottom. Leave it to sit in the fridge for an hour or two, then undo it, and it looks like this.
What?
And
Okay,
when you
that
cut
was
it in half, you get this amazing heart-shaped egg, perfect to serve up with a salad. If you want some fresh butter, but you didn't take it out of the fridge in time, it can be hard and really difficult to spread. It can just rip your bread and make a bit of a mess. If you try putting it in a microwave, you have to be very, very careful. You might end up with just a big plate of fat.
There it is, Blood Earth. Then we have Watery Cirrus.
Introducing stocks by the slice from Fidelity. Now you can trade stocks and ETFs for any amount you choose, instead of buying with a share. No commissions. Stocks by the slice from Fidelity. Get your slice today.
This, but what you can do is take a drinking glass, fill it with some really warm water, and let
convinced that there was a way to turn cotton balls into edible and hopefully tasty cotton candy. At first, this idea seemed a bit ridiculous, but I knew that it should have been possible. This is because cotton, even though it doesn't seem like it at all, is technically entirely sugar. The only problem is that all this sugar, or more specifically glucose, is trapped in something called cellulose. As cellulose, it acts like a completely different material, and we can use it to make things like cotton balls and clothing. At its core, though, it's all just sugar. So, what I dreamed of doing was breaking down cotton balls back into sugar and then turning them into candy. I didn't just want to make any candy, though, and I specifically wanted to make cotton candy. I wanted to make literal cotton candy. To get started, the first thing that I had to do was figure out how to even do it. I had to come up with a way to break down the cellulose back into sugar, and my first idea was to use an enzyme. This was because I had already
Okay, I
used an
guess
enzyme